They never warned you that the first enemies you'll ever face are not outside, but inside. Your mouth that betrays you, your mind that unsettles you, your chaos that weakens you, and your money that exposes you. But since nobody else will say it, let me say it ruthlessly. Until you control these 4 things, life will keep pulling you like a puppet by the strings of your own negligence. Before the words get too sharp, before the honesty becomes too heavy, pause for 2 seconds and write a powerful word in the comments. One single word that matches the theme of this message. A word that screams discipline, control, or dominance. Write it now, and while you're doing that, subscribe, because what I'm about to tell you may either offend you into growth or provoke you into awakening. But either way, you're going to evolve. The mouth has destroyed more futures than failure ever has. Some people collapse not because they are weak, but because they talk too much and too early. They hand their vulnerabilities to the world like a gift. Machiavelli warned that a prince must learn to conceal his thoughts, not because deception is noble, but because exposure is death. Every time you talk recklessly, you create an opening for someone to predict you, provoke you, or sabotage you. Ask yourself, how many battles did you lose simply because your mouth arrived before your strategy? How many plans died because you announced them to people who were never praying for your success? Silence is not weakness. Silence is a throne. It is where strategy settles and power matures. But controlling your mouth is impossible if you don't first control your mind. This is where most people collapse. They never learn to command their thoughts. They let fear roam free like a dog without a leash. They let insecurity build castles in their imagination. They let doubt whisper louder than ambition. Your mind is not a playground. It is a battlefield. Some want to serve you. Some want to destroy you. Machiavelli understood the mind as territory. Territory worth defending with strategy, not emotion. Power begins internally. Authority begins internally. Freedom begins internally. You cannot dominate anything externally until you dominate everything internally. Control your mind, and your mouth will follow. Control your mind, and your chaos will crumble. Now let's talk about the chaos you've been pretending doesn't exist. The chaos you normalize, the chaos you excuse, the chaos you blame on stress or timing or circumstances, when deep down, it's simply a lack of discipline. People pray for breakthroughs while living in disarray. Chaos is the silent killer of potential. It hides in your habits, your patterns, your routine. It hides in procrastination, in overthinking, in emotional responses you never learned to tame. Machiavelli wrote that a state that cannot control disorder will eventually be overtaken, not by an enemy, but by its own negligence. Your life is no different. The chaos in your environment reflects the chaos in your discipline. The chaos in your discipline reflects the chaos in your mind, and the chaos in your mind reflects the chaos you refuse to confront. Power cannot thrive in clutter, and destiny cannot breathe in chaos. Tame the disorder, or it will tame you. Let's speak about money. Because whether you like it or not, money reveals everything you try to hide. He understood that poverty makes you a servant, not because being poor is shameful, but because lack forces you into dependence. People think money is the goal. No, money is the mirror, and that mirror will tell you if you have self-control or self-sabotage. Some people want wealth but cannot manage 1,000 naira without losing focus. Some want financial elevation but spend like they are allergic to discipline. It will always cling to those who handle it with respect, strategy, and control. Your finances reflect your internal order. If your money is chaotic, your life is chaotic. If your money is undisciplined, your mind is undisciplined. Control your mouth, and nobody will predict you. Control your mind, and nobody will defeat you. Control your chaos, and nobody will limit you. Control your money, and nobody will own you. And right now, as the message sinks in, pause again and type a powerful word in the comments. One word that represents who you're becoming after hearing this truth. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Subscribe so you never miss these mind-sharpening messages. But here's the truth they never teach you. Once you learn to control your mouth, your mind, your chaos, and your money, these same 4 things become tools in a world where everyone wants something, where people speak with sweet tongues but hidden intentions, where agendas walk in daylight dressed as kindness. Power isn't about harshness. Real power is quiet, gentle, soft, the kind of softness that doesn't bend. It absorbs, understands, and then decides. Because when you rise above impulsiveness, when you stop living at the mercy of reaction, when you shift from being easily provoked to being deeply perceptive, suddenly the world feels slower. Their tricks become predictable. You stop drowning in confusion and start floating above it, watching everything with calm clarity. This is what Machiavelli meant. Not cruelty, not manipulation, but awareness. the kind of awareness that allows you to move through a world of hidden agendas without losing yourself. In a world where everyone overshares, over-explains, and exposes their whole soul to strangers, your ability to speak selectively becomes power. Soft power. You speak only when the moment is right, when the words have weight, when the silence has done its work. And people listen, not because you force them, but because your voice carries intention. In a world full of noise, you become a frequency. You begin to read a room, feel the energy, sense the motives. You don't waste breath, you don't waste explanations. You don't waste truth on ears that cannot hear. You speak with purpose, not impulse. And slowly your mouth transforms from a weapon that once harmed you into a tool that elevates you. Then comes the mind. When your mind is finally under your command, it becomes a compass through fog. A clean lake that reflects reality as it is, not as fear paints it. You begin to understand people without taking their actions personally. You no longer panic when something shifts. You no longer collapse under pressure. Why? Because the chaos inside you has been silenced, leaving space for perception, strategy, and understanding. A disciplined mind sees patterns long before others see problems. It picks true allies from opportunists. It recognizes hidden motives in friendly smiles. It senses danger when others call it friendship. You think deeply but calmly. You analyze situations without drowning in them. Your mind becomes your castle, not a prison. Now consider chaos. The same chaos that once drained you now becomes a teacher. When you learn to tame internal disorder, your life transforms into a place where peace is not passive, but intentional. You start seeing that chaos outside cannot touch a mind that is organized inside. People try to distract you, but they don't derail your purpose. Challenges appear, but you don't fear them, because you've already fought and won the biggest battles within yourself. Chaos becomes something you navigate, not something you drown in. And eventually you learn to use controlled chaos as a tool. You can adapt faster than most. You know how to endure storms without breaking. And suddenly, the same world that once overwhelmed you becomes a place you move through with deep composure. You learn to flow, to adjust, to reposition yourself with grace instead of fear. In a world addicted to urgency and panic, your steadiness becomes power. And finally, money. The mirror that once exposed your weaknesses becomes something you wield with purpose. Money in the hands of someone who is controlled, calm, and self-aware becomes influence, freedom, and mobility. When you are not impulsive, money stops slipping away from you. When you are not chaotic, money stops overwhelming you. When you are not emotionally driven, money stops controlling you. You begin to see money as a tool, not identity, not validation, not a display of success. You invest with intention, you spend with awareness, you save with purpose, and once you detach your emotions from your finances, you become impossible to manipulate. No one can bribe you with temporary pleasures. No one can trap you with desperation. No one can pressure you with scarcity. You move with someone who understands that money flows to discipline, not desire. Money becomes a silent ally. It protects you, positions you, strengthens your ability to say no. And in a world full of traps disguised as opportunities, your financial discipline becomes your shield. Slowly you realize something profound. Controlling these four things doesn't make you harsh. It makes you whole. It makes you calm in a loud world, aware in a deceptive world, focused in a distracted world, stable in a chaotic world, and free in a world that thrives on control. This is the soft kind of power, the power of someone who sees clearly, speaks intentionally, thinks deeply, moves calmly, and chooses wisely. It is the power of someone who navigates a world of hidden agendas without becoming a victim of them. It is the power of someone who has learned that the loudest voice is rarely the strongest, and the calmest mind is often the most dangerous. And now, if this message has awakened something in you, even a spark, even a whisper, take a moment to subscribe. Help this channel grow while you grow your mind. Support the space that supports your transformation. And as you rise in silence, discipline, awareness, and power, remember, mastery begins within, but its effects echo far beyond you.